going to talk about some of the benefits that you have, some of the responsibilities that you have as an MEA member, and then after that, we're going to move into our state membership and political involvement with Jerry and Diane.
Okay, so a lot of this information has been covered in some of the other groups. So if you'll turn to the membership section in your notebook, you're going to see a lot of the forms available there for membership. So this one right here, it's got all the benefits of being an MEA member. So you have the $10,000 life insurance policy, legislative action, discounts, scholarships, free admission to all Mesquite ISD events, except varsity football games, and then the mailbag and discount pages. So this is sometimes good if you need to give somebody something to see what the benefits are. This is a good page to copy for them. If you have to copy, sometimes I would even copy that on one side and, no, I wouldn't. Sorry, I would copy sometimes when I would make copies, I was at FR for like 7 or 8 years. I would take the MEA membership form and then also put the beneficiary form, like front to back. So that way it's just one sheet of paper if you're giving it to anybody to fill out. Because hopefully they do it in benefits and you don't have to worry about that. Any question about the MEA membership forms or any of the benefits?
Who qualifies for MEA?
Anybody that works for the district.
Yeah.
Anybody that works for the district, but if they work less than so many hours, they can still be an MEA member, they just don't qualify for the life insurance.
So that's what she was saying about
It's on the
substitutes
sheet.
earlier.
If it's less
It's
than
on that red
18.75.
Yeah, it's in the red part.
So, I don't know how long our cafeteria monitors, I guess it depends on the hours.
You can find out from principal
You
secretary.
can just ask them to work more than 18.75.
Okay.
If that's the case, they'll still get all the other benefits, they just won't get the life insurance.
Okay, can I, all right, there's different classifications in the system. If you're full-time or part-time, you're eligible for, and that's a classification in the system. And then if you're hourly or sub or intern, and that's another classification in the system, you're not eligible for the insurance. So you can be a sub and hourly and still work more than 18.75 hours, but you're still not eligible for the insurance.
Okay.
So if you're classified as a sub or hourly, you're not eligible for the insurance.
Okay.
Right, sub or hourly. It's the part-time and full-time people who work 18.75 hours. So you could even be a full-time person and working less than 18.75 hours, you're not eligible for the insurance. Because you could be on leave, but as long as your leave is protected by FML, you're still eligible for the insurance. But then when the FML is exhausted and you're out, so then that's when benefits, we tell you, your insurance is ended, and you can report it for it. But that's what I'm saying, so just because you're a member of MEA, you have that insurance, but people forget, they go out on leave and then they're out, or they're on admin leave or sabbatical or something. I mean, they're thinking they have, well, sabbatical, yes, because they're still on their insurance, but they think they have insurance, because I'm not a member of MEA, but you still have to meet the qualifications, unless you're on a protected leave.
I wasn't quite sure on, when you said they go through the benefits, the enrollment of the
Health
VA,
insurance.
what about the beneficiary, do they go ahead and
It's-
sign it? then?
Mhm.
Yeah, all of
Yes,
that
it
is
asks them.
online.
Okay, that's what I wanna make
So
sure.
there's nothing that goes to you if they do it online. So. All right.
Now,
And-
the paraprofessionals, are they hourly or are they?
It depends.
Professionals are, either full-time or part-time in
Yeah,
the
it
system.
Okay.
They're not hourly.
Okay.
Mhm.
Just wanna make sure they-
Yes.
See, it's so good though.
I want to ask a question too, and it's not to get benefits person. I just did my insurance and I clicked on MEA, but I know it's rolling over because last year, are we all supposed to do that? Even though we were an MEA member last year, you still got to click this, right?
Yes,
Make sure your
because-
It's not
beneficiary
a
is
rollover
correct.
situation, but
Yes, if you did not do annual enrollment, it would automatically roll over if you were a member. But because you went in there and renewed your membership, it automatically clicked, if you were a member last year, it's already defaulted, so you're just clicking, you're renewing it.
Because it didn't ask for my benefits, I don't remember typing in benefits or changing that.
No, because it's already
It's already,
started.
that's all.
You're just confirming it.
So just make sure you're clicking on it.
Yes, and we're asking everybody to go in and confirm their benefits. You wanna do it every year.
Especially your
Because,
beneficiaries.
you wanna look and review your rates, cause some rates are going up, some are going down. The health plans are changing. People think, oh, I don't have any benefits, I don't need to do anything. Well, if you're not enrolling in the MIC health insurance, you are required to decline it every year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's reasons to go in it, but yes, it'll default that you're in it, and then it'll say, is this your beneficiary, and you just click, 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 you gotta go through all the screens.
Okay, what about those, teachers that come to our campus and they're like observing the teachers? Are they
Student
eligible
teachers?
for-
Are those?
Not for MEA,
Yeah.
but they can do
They're
ATPE.
not eligible.
But they can do ATPE.
But they can,
Yeah.
they get free ATVs.
Yeah, yeah, they get free. Mm-hmm.
I thought they could do MEA.
It's a good way to get
the
them.
other discounts and things,
No.
they
They
just
stay.
don't get the insurance.
I don't think so.
Okay, let me check into that.
Right? Depends on, I guess, who they're employed by. Alright, so, good questions. She's gonna, Kay's gonna check on that last one that you had. So, the next you have all your ATPE membership forms. A really good, piece of paper to keep in mind
These are
is you have this flyer in there, this flyer, that actually compares ATPE to some of the other organizations. So that one's really good if you want to share that with some of the new employees, so they'll know like the benefits, right? They can compare it themselves too. And then you have, ATPE sent us 2 forms this year. One form is for payroll deduction, and then another form is for check. And then obviously if they wanna do credit card or bank draft, then they have to go online for that. You'll notice that at the bottom of step 1, there is a place to put recruited by, so first name and last name. So make sure you have that filled in. I believe, is that where they do the 10 for?
$10.
So
For each
that's-
new one.
If your name is not filled in there, then you don't get the $10 for new recruits. So
I've
ATPE.
had several new teachers sign up, and I've never gotten any.
Mm-hmm, yeah, same. They said it's supposed, I think it's supposed to be right there.
Hey Christy, if can I just run copies of those and just put them in their mailboxes, like, just to make sure I'm covered?
No, we can't put ATP stuff in mailbox.
Trick
See, I was like,
question.
she should have just answered that one.
Yeah, no, you cannot run copies and put them in their boxes. And I always, spoke to all the new teachers during the new teacher orientation week at school and just talked to them about that and got that taken.
For most campuses, it should be this Wednesday, because ours is this Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So get with your administrator, schedule a time, and you can talk to them, because usually those are the ones who need to sign up.
Yes, exactly. So, and then you also have where it says, next to step 2, you have designated ATPE rep, so that would be you. So receive date, make sure that you put the date that they give it to you, if they fill out this form, and print your name and sign it, because that's the day that their membership becomes,
Their liability starts getting, yeah.
So it's covered the day that you sign it.
Yeah.
They're covered starting that day. And then you have professional, first-time professional, associate, administrators, retired, all of those right there. So that's the, anything else on this one?
Where do you mark the intern?
I don't see that on.
It says it on the side. Student teacher
They might
has to go
have to do it
online.
online.
It says it on the left there. It
Because
says,
when I was a student teacher, I think I
it
did
says
mine
student teacher,
online.
so
So.
join online.
What was the question?
Intern has to do it
Interns.
online.
Yeah, it is.
Online?
Mhm.
Did Mike suggest
I
that?
found
Yeah.
that out last
It's what
year.
it says
Okay.
right here.
So interns, they do theirs online. And then on the payroll deduct, there's a section at the bottom for the payroll deduction. So making sure that they fill that in, total amount, number of deductions. Oh, there's even a place to, if you wish to cancel a different membership. So there's that one. Now you also have forms in there for cancellations, because usually at this time you also do the Mesquite Education Foundation paperwork, so that usually comes in the mail. But you have the cancellation membership forms in there as well. Any other?
I don't know if anybody knows
Who's returning?
and kind of just do like an overview of like just what we do, just inform them about the
So
scholarship.
she needs to say that?
Our Colorado
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know Randy was working on a little presentation already, so I'm sure it'll come like, usually comes in the link order.
Yeah, YouTube video.
I have a quick question. On the second page where it says, use this application for checks for the ATVE, why is there red and $80 and $139 on this page, but not on this page?
That's if they pay with a credit card.
They get a
Oh, for
discount.
the ATPE?
Is there a discount?
They do credit card discount.
Well, but $80,
No, on the payroll deduction?
where,
Yeah.
step 2, where it says membership category.
Yeah, yeah.
Paying all at once.
Oh.
No, it's for the, yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Installments is you get a discount for installments. See?
No, there's on the, between payroll and checks, there's actually a discount.
Yes, that's,
So-
See,
that's
that's
what I
what
was
I'm
trying to say.
saying.
Yeah.
$139 is if you pay online
Up here?
with a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
$80 if you pay online with credit card.
Yeah.
So,
Well, first time member, but if you pay, well, that's true.
no, there's
But if you
a
pay for a
discount,
credit card, it's
different.
Yeah. It's 175 for
So it
payroll,
looks like you.
139 credit card.
That you do get a discount in case, if you do fill it out on,
Mm-hmm.
if you pay by check as well, all in
You have
one
to
percent.
remember, it's not a first time member of the
It can be
city,
installment,
it's a
too.
first time member ever. So
Ever.
even if you're in a
Ever.
different district, you've been a member before, it's not gonna count as a first time member.
I know that I went to, another district and presented ATP membership, so we had talked to a lot of people who signed up. I got a check for $10. We're talking about some people did not get their check from ATPE, which rolls around about February. Comes in late, you thought that. So I contacted them and I said, well, there should have been about 15 people. They said, well, when checking, they found out that at one time or another, they had been a member of an association. But you said, you had a brand new teacher.
Yeah, Brandy.
We need to know that. You need to
But if-
contact Kay,
Jerry.
about February, or when people start getting those and letting us know.
Jerry,
Because that was an oversight.
if that new teacher though was signed up as an intern, they still were a member.
Yeah, exactly.
I would have been, I signed up as an intern
Same
at college,
thing.
so.
So, but when I did call association, and, they said they're apparently had been a member at some time. But this is first year teachers.
Well, she could have been an intern. I
As a
wrote, what I
student
did-
teacher in college.
Here's a good way to keep up with that. What I did was I went and I wrote down every single name of everybody I signed up that was new.
So I think UNT has
And
a
then
chapter.
I actually got a check for
It's
$330,
called-
well, it went in my bank account for $330
Because I
for
think they like
ATPEs,
kind of
because
tell
I
you
signed up
about it
33 new
on the
members.
campus.
But I actually had like 36 on my list, so because I knew that I had signed up 36, I called them and I said, okay, I didn't get it for these 3, and then they went back and checked, and those 3 had been members before. So I think what people get confused is, if you come from Garland and you're an ATPE member, just coming to Mesquite and changing it does not make you a new member. You've still been a member before. So that's where people start getting confused. If the intern, even if they're a first year teacher, we sign up a lot of our interns because we want them to have that legal protection in the classroom too. And if they signed up as an intern, even though it was free, they are not considered a new member because they had a membership as an intern. So those are the things. Now, it could be a mistake, so it doesn't hurt to write them down and then go check and say, hey, I signed this person up, and then they can tell you that. They're really good at that. You just call and ask for membership, and they'll tell you that.
Christy, could I add something? I know I'm supposed to do
You go
state
right on
membership
ahead.
then, but I think Dr. B is here. We want to give him time. I want to tell you one thing that's good news. You know that in the last legislative session, there was a House bill that they wanted to do away with payroll deduction. We fought it hard. The Association of Texas Professional Educators really took the lead on it, fought hard against it, and it didn't even go into law. However, the Attorney General issued a, what do you call it, a statement, a guideline?
Opinion.
An opinion, that if you rolled over membership, we needed to get the signature of those people to allow the rollover. So I have rollover, I would have had to sign a sheet to roll over. So when I called ATPE, Friday to ask about it, and they were so excited. They said, Jerry, your Mesquite doesn't have to do it. Because we are one of two, maybe large districts that are honoring that rollover. So thank you, Mesquite. They're gonna honor that. We don't have to do anything, it automatically rolls over. So that was the question. So that was good news.
Some districts are having to do that though. And they don't, and what's so bad about it is, it's just like we were talking about a while ago, they don't know they have to sign that. And if you don't sign it, it doesn't roll over, and then you don't have your protection and you think you do. So.
Okay.
Okay, do we wanna let Dr. Lee talk?
Okay. Two door prizes.
All right, first one out, 5948.
One after me.
You find out who lost, yay! Okay, and one more, 4610.
Hey, can I add one more thing that's really important? One more thing that was just reminded us, that if you want to pay by credit card and you're on payroll today, it is your responsibility and every educator's responsibility. They contact MISD and stop that payroll deduct. We cannot do it for you. Is that clear? I mean, you need to tell, if they say, okay, I want to pay the 139, I don't mind if I pay it in a lump sum on a credit card, I can pay out my credit card. It's a lot cheaper than 175 by payroll deduct. But if they are on payroll deduct, they have to stop it, otherwise guess what's gonna happen? Payroll deduct's gonna take it out, and then they'll pay by credit card. So just tell your employees that, they must stop the payroll deduct themselves. We can't do it for them. But what, yeah, there is a form that's in your book, but a lot of people forget that. What is the budget for officers if they have to stop that payroll deduct? Payroll deduct will come, I would
September
say
1st.
August, end of August, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, September 1st.
September 1st.
Yeah, till September 1st.
I want to honor your time, Dr. Breland. I know you've got a million things going through your head. When we started this, that's not enough tax? Okay. When we first started today, I said a generous thank you for your $1,000 flat salary increase. That meant the world to me as a multi-year educator, because it values those people. If this cafeteria isn't clean, if my classroom is clean, I can't teach. If there's not people at the front desk answering the door and letting people in, I can't teach. And I'm crying about everything these days. So,
We're all a little emotional these days. Yeah.
I just want to say, as the president of this body, and yes, I'm representing all of you right now, thank you very much. Our superintendent.
I didn't know what I was gonna talk to y'all about today. I still don't. As you know me, I come in and I kind of go off stuff, but actually, a large part of the consideration, the bonus structure, of course, we don't know what the bonus structure will be. We told you we would, of course, hopefully you like the $500 check you got this summer, so hopefully you like that. And that was unanticipated. We weren't really looking at that until probably a couple of weeks before we announced. And then we said, oh gosh, I think we can do this, and so why not do that if we can, was really the attitude. But moving forward, we're deeply concerned about a lot of things relative to budgets and how this is all gonna work and how COVID is affecting the economy. If you're not paying attention, you need to know it's roughly a $5 billion hit. Now, I don't know how many of you have been around a long time, but I've been around long enough to know how this works. And right now, the CARES Act sounds an awful lot like the Obama stimulus money back in 2009. It's very similar. In 2006, we compressed the tax rate by 50 cents. Some of you may remember that. It went from $1.50 to $1 roughly. For us, it went from 46 cents to 96 cents. Same concept. When we did that, at the same time that happened, the Carol Keaton Rylander Strayhorn, we all just called her Grandma, the comptroller at the time, actually declared that there would be a $5 billion deficit by 2009 in public ed. She was right. And exactly when that happened is also when the economy just started shifting really badly. Those of you may remember 2008 to roughly 2014, it just was a tough go, right? And so when that happened, we had a $5 billion hit to the public ed budget. We didn't feel it in 09. We didn't feel it in 09 because in 09, the federal government had supplied what I don't remember what it was called, but Obama stimulus money to states. They just called it Obama stimulus money, so I don't know what it was actually called. But they didn't add that as supplementing. They supplanted the $5 billion loss. So it essentially filled that hole. And then in 2011, we all felt it because the money wasn't there. And they filled that hole confident that the economy would turn. It did not. And so in 2011, we all saw the cuts, budgets were frozen, all sorts of actions were taken. Even in this district, even as we had a September budget, they froze hiring, they froze salary increases. I mean, they did it all. Well, essentially the same thing's happening right now. So they compressed it in a far more difficult way to see as 50 cents, but they have compressed the tax rate. And that was done with House Bill 5 in the last session. And when they compressed the tax rate, it's today at 97 cents, I think, or 97, I think. I can't, 94, something like that. We compressed it from 104, which it was 2 years ago, to what it was this last year. And now tonight you're gonna hear us bringing it down further compression. I wanna say 91 cents or 93 cents per $100 valuation. So it's being compressed significantly more. And we knew that because our values go up, it compresses the tax rate on the homeowner. It's a good thing. The problem is the state said they would be able to basically backfill that loss because the economy was churning. And if you recall, at the time I said I had a concern because it wasn't actually changes in formula processes. There wasn't a new source of funding. They were banking on the economy churning. Now, I didn't see COVID coming, so I wasn't being a prophet, right? But COVID came. And right now we're experiencing a $5 billion budget deficit. And it's pretty substantial. And now you've got this CARES money, and essentially the CARES money is going to supplant state dollars. We knew this. This is why we were really tight on our projections moving forward. Even though we did better than most districts around the area, we're still tight for what we want to do. And we're still hopeful with one-time expenditures that bonus can be much higher than $500. We just don't know yet. We'll see the landscape here in a few months and we'll be able to try to figure that out. But that's kind of where we stand on that fiscal picture. But moving forward, it's deeply concerning. And as you know, we stood up the VLA as a way of making sure, if you were on the call, I said, we got to make sure we have a space for people who don't want to bring their kids to school because we're planning to stand up school. This was about a month ago, I think. We're planning to stand up school, but even as we stand up school, we know we're going to have this space. And you know, guys, this morning we had 10,600 people sign up for VLA.
Wow.
It's what I projected. It's what I told you would happen. It'd be 20% or better. It's right now just a little above 20%, 23% or something like that. That's $80 million. That's what I was saying on the phone call. If we don't do this, we will suffer as a district, we will suffer as a community, and so we did it. But then, things changed again on us, just as rapidly as they can in these days, and the DCC shut us down, Dallas County Commission shut us down for the first 3 weeks. We took advantage of TEA and made it the first 4. Some people out there didn't quite hear what I said on that video call. It's amazing how many times you got to say things for people to hear what you actually said. Even with a calendar on there that had the day circled, it was like, wow, how did you miss that day? So bottom line is we're doing virtual for all students all the way through the 11th as it stands right now. Now, I'll be honest with you, unlike some superintendents, you hear a lot of disingenuous stuff in the news. My sense of it is we probably won't be coming back on that day. But my hope is we will. And I want to speak to you guys about that a little bit because I fear for our students. I sincerely do. And I suffer for you as well. I got a sense that a lot of our people need to get back into a place of being social again and being around people. I really do sense that. Respecting COVID, mind you. I mean, you've got to respect this, right? But at the same time you're respecting it, we've got to remember who we are as a people. And that requires us to be social, to be together, to engage with each other. And I'm frustrated by that for our people, for our kids especially. I see it in them. I hear it. Our kids are desperate to come back to school, the vast majority. Even those standing up for VLA, I promise you, most of those are being driven by their parents, not by the kids.
Yeah.
And I understand. You know, it's like I said, I get in the ocean pretty frequently, but I have great respect for the ocean. And so I don't fear it, but I respect it. And I'm very much the same with this. I'm not running in fear, but I am respecting it. And I expect us as a body to respect it, whatever the situation is that we walk into. But I don't anticipate we'll be back, but hopefully the numbers will turn and we'll be able to come back more quickly than I anticipate. But nonetheless, there's a reason I'm telling you this. With that in mind, there was no reason for us to stand up the Virtual Learning Academy right out of the gate. It creates a more difficult situation for our students. And so if every teacher is going to be teaching through virtual processes anyway, called Learn Anywhere, if we're going to be doing that anyway, we might as well have all the students in the same platform, getting all their same classes, earning their same credits. Now that creates a problem moving down the road, but again, I anticipate we're going to be in this longer than just through the 11th and coming back on the 14th. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. And I told my board, a lot of it is rolling dice. I'm not a prophet. I don't know, and I don't understand this disease, and I don't understand how it works any more than it seems a lot of doctors seem to understand it, because you get conflicting reports. I was on a call with someone, a doctor from Dallas County, or Dallas Health, and he said this, because we commented on the conflicting reports. He said, yeah, they're conflicting reports. And he cut it right there, which tells you a lot. He's not saying ours is right and theirs is wrong. There are conflicting reports. They don't quite understand the fullness of this, and I appreciate that. So, what is important to me in this time? Most important, and I hear this from folks, and I'm just going to tell you, and I hope I'm not calling out other superintendents, it's not my intention. TEA definitely has allowed us to do half days. 4 days, 4 hours of instruction for secondary, 3 hours of instruction for elementary school. You've probably heard that. That's out there. To me, that is malpractice on our behalf if we take advantage of that. Our kids did not have the best experience for education March through May. We did the best we could as an entity, but we weren't prepared for that. We were absolutely not ready for that situation. No one was. And so we did the best we could. And frankly, you did the best you could, because there wasn't a ton of support from the district other than, here's what we got. You know, really, Kara's office did a tremendous job trying to help people know how to use Google Classroom and how to use Seesaw. But for the most part, it really relied on you as teachers to stand this thing up. It really did. And I'm so honored by the work that you did, and I've said that so many times. But now we're prepared. And in good conscience, I'm just going to say this, in good conscience, there's no way I'm going to reach out to my children and say, we're going to provide you the minimum amount of education required by the state. That is unacceptable. I don't even want to hear that from my people, because as you can tell, that gets me fired up. Our kids deserve the maximum amount we can give them. And they need it, because they're behind already. I don't care what other districts are doing. I don't care to speak to dynamics of those districts. They do what they do, and they can live with their conscience the way they need to live with their conscience. But I am not going to stand that up in this district. It's frankly, in my opinion, unacceptable. That is a decision made for adults, not for kids. And I'm simply not going to do that, and I won't even make excuses for it or apologize for it. This is what I believe is right, and we have to operate on principles. I teach my leaders in this district this all the time. Operating on principles is the only way you garner respect. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but it's the right thing to do. And principally, we are here to educate children. That's what we get paid to do. And if we can maximize that education, then we're going to do everything we can to maximize that education. We're not going to take advantage of rules related to ADA and say, well, we can get our funding. I don't operate with the idea of how do I get my funding. I have to be concerned about it, but that's not my primary objective any more than I operate with the idea of how do I make sure we're ready for STAR. I'm not standing up school, maximizing it to be ready for STAR or EOC that I don't even believe will happen. I'm doing it because I believe it's the best thing we can do for our children. And what that requires, therefore, is that we're going to be teaching from whatever your normal schedule is, 8 to 3:30 or whatever. I honestly, those schedules are all over the place depending on what level you teach. But we're going to be standing up school. And I think that we're going to send out a communication to parents. And I thought this through a great deal. I was at Snuffers up in Rockwall because my wife really wanted a mushroom burger the other day. And it's like, well, Snuffers is closed here, so we're heading up there. So we headed up there and we bantered this through. My heart has really struggled. The reason I told you I wanted to stand up school from the get-go was because I think our parents really need us to stand up school. We need our kids to be in school for a variety of reasons. And so I really want to do that, but respecting the law, obviously I can't do that. Mm-hmm. And so I was, a couple of single parents, what am I supposed to do now? They're not opening up school. And I thought about this, and my heart still aches for them, but what are they doing right now? Mm-hmm. Because if they're not working, they're home with their children. If they are working, then hopefully they provided care for their children that need care. If their children don't need care, they're home and independent. And so if we're setting up virtual learning, then at the parent's home, I expect them to make sure their children's logged on every hour with the teacher that's appropriate and checking in and doing their work. If they're not, I expect that they're telling their caregiver to make sure that their child gets online, and because we are providing devices to every single child. We are going one-to-one, y'all. And when I say one-to-one, not temporarily, we're going one-to-one now. Okay, and so that's not just for this. Moving forward, we will be one-to-one. And so as we do so, that's your device. You can get on, you can do what you need to do. And if you're home and you're independent, then I expect the parent to communicate to that child they need to be home, and I expect the teacher to be communicating with the parent when they're not getting online. Pretty, it's school, right? And so for me, this maximizing learning is super important, and that requires us to take advantage of every hour, every minute we can provide instruction and do so. Now, I know it's not going to look like classroom. I appreciate that. And no one's expecting it to, especially the elementary kiddos, especially the youngest of the elementary schools. I understand it's not going to look like that. There's just simply no way. So what you're going to be doing, you follow the modules, you're doing the training on moving, you're doing that. What you're seeing is the expectations. You're going to log on, you're going to take attendance, and then you're going to be with that child for a few minutes teaching them something, whatever that something is, right? And then you're going to let them go and do what they need to do in independent work, or I pray that you guys learn to do breakout rooms, and they can even work together.